the way that the story goes is that Ruby was this little girl that loved to go to the movies back when the DeSoto was still showing movies. She would go in, she would ride the trolley, have her token, go in, see the movies for the whole day, and she'd go back home. Well, one day, she's crossing the street and she gets hit by a car. And everyone just like crowds around her. She's laying down. But soon she gets up and she's okay. She just wants to go see her movies. And well, you know, back then, medical technology and knowledge wasn't at its best. I mean, now if somebody gets hit by a car, they're like, okay, well, you know, we're not going to take any chances. Let's bring you in. But, you know, she seemed to be fine. She was moving all right. So she goes in. And she goes to the DeSoto, and she sits down in the back seats where she can just sit there and not be bothered, watch all the movies all day long. At the end of the day, while they're cleaning up, you know, they're used to usually finding Ruby, and she might be asleep or something like that. So the lady kind of goes over to her and just kind of like, you know, nudges her and just like, darling, it's time to go home. And that's when she notices that Ruby's eyes are still wide open, looking at the screen, and she's not breathing anymore. And what had happened was she died of internal injuries. We were doing Camelot. It was a late night because I was directing. We were cleaning everything up, and we were about to leave. And we were taking the back door out, which means you have to cross through the actual theater and the stage. We go through, and I'm just looking over at the area, checking out the scenery, all that good stuff. And, you know, they have the old saying, all the blood leaving your face. And I remember one person once telling me, it was on a bit of a tangent of how that's just not a very accurate phrase. And I looked at her, and I said, well, then obviously it has never happened to you. Because out of the corner of my eye, leaning right up against the very proscenium, which is the edge of the stage, kind of like looking out from one of the curtains, is what looks to be like a China doll. Just very large. No features on the face, but you could tell it was a little girl in very old clothing. And there's something that goes off. I think in all of us, there is that knowledge that this is the normal set of things right here. However, we all suspect that there is more than that on some deep intrinsic level. And when something that you believe is in that outside level happens, there are things that happen to you. The first thing is all the blood leaves your face because all of a sudden I just feel the color just draining out. And my mom and my sister notice, they look over at me and they're like, what is it? I'm like, we just need to leave. And so Molly's like, what do you see? I was like, we are just leaving now. And so going right through that stage, because as soon as I turned my full focus on it, it was gone. We passed through there, and the whole time, just like hairs on the back of my neck are just straight up. Which we leave, we go out in the back parking lot, and they turn around, and they're like, what did you see? I was like, I saw her. And there was just that bit of silence, and they're like, well, what does she look like? I was like, it was just this very indistinct face. It almost looked like a porcelain doll. And that's when we went home.